I am one with my glorious I Am presence and Holy Christ Self. My personalities, body elemental, and new spirit. All parts of my being are in balance, harmony, and alignment. And I am fully contained within Metatron's cosmic egg. I am now ready for today's message. Greetings, beloveds. I welcome you once again into my heart of love, where I hold you always, regardless of the circumstances of your life, regardless of whether you accept me or not, regardless of whether you even know that I exist. For that is my function as Lord of this universe, to hold all of creation within my very own heart. My heart is immense and encompasses this entire universe, so that I am aware of every single being, and in fact, every single atom that is in this universe, for it is a part of my being, just as each atom that makes up your physical body and each particle of life that makes up your subtle bodies is a part of you, so every particle of creation in this universe is a part of my body on all the different dimensions in which creation exists. Therefore, I am aware of each and every one of you. And as soon as you think of me, I am there, consciously, ready to communicate with you. Even if you are not aware of my presence, I am there to whisper in your ear. I whisper suggestions of what to do and how to be, waiting for the moment when you will listen, recognize, and act upon the truth that you hear within you. So, beloveds, I ask you to be particularly attentive to that soft, small voice that you often hear within you, that you instantly recognize as guiding you in the right direction, even if, when you hear it, that is not the choice that you would like to do. And yet, you recognize the truthfulness of that voice. You recognize the righteousness and the love of those advices and suggestions that I do whisper in your ear. The more attentive you are, the more easily you will hear. And then remains the greatest hurdle of all, that of putting into action putting those suggestions into action is often the hardest part for most of you. For that is when the ego mind steps in and creates all of its excuses for not doing it. And it creates all of its temptations for other activities to pull you away from the divine action. And so you must be very vigilant, beloveds. This is how you become the master of your own life. You begin to be the master of your body when you do the activities and eat the food that your divine presence wants you to do and eat. It is always giving you suggestions. It is suggesting to you when you are in the grocery store and buying your food. It makes the suggestions when you are in a restaurant or at another person's home, where you can choose from different options of what is available. Even if you feel that you need to put everything on your plate, it doesn't mean that you need to eat everything on your plate. So please begin to follow, as much as you possibly can, those suggestions made to you by your divine self. You will be glad you did. Another way to help this process is to be focused in your heart of love. When you are faced with choices, the first reaction is to be focused in your mind, to think about the various options, and to imagine how they will play out for you. You may imagine a positive result, or you may imagine a negative result. But either way, the focus is in the mind. The mind can only make decisions based on its knowledge and memory of the past. It looks to see how a similar choice was taken, and then the results of that choice. So, when you see that your first reaction is to go into the mind, again, push the pause button that you have and do control. And instead of blurting out a response instantly, remain in silence. And then focus in your heart. Feel the love that I have for you. Feel the love that the entire hierarchy of light beings has for you. And then feel the love that you have for yourself. Imagine this love if you do not feel it instantly. But try your best to feel love for yourself. When you can feel that love in your heart, then ask the questions or show the choices to your heart that you have to make. And then see how each choice feels within your heart. When you imagine doing one thing, does it make your heart expand or contract. And then when you look at the other choice that you have, look to see if when you hold it in your mind, your heart expands or contracts. If your heart expands and the feeling of love you have increases, then that is your heart's way of telling you, yes, that is a good choice. If your heart contracts, that is your heart's way of saying no. That is not an optimal choice at this time. It does not mean that at another time it will necessarily be a bad choice as well. For the heart is present in the moment, and it will help you to make the perfect choice in the now moment. Perhaps in a few weeks from now, or months, if you offer the same choices to your heart, you may get a different response. Because you are different, and your needs are different. Especially during this period of time on the earth when consciousness is evolving very, very rapidly. So be sure to give the choice that you have to make to the heart in the now moment. See what response you get, and then follow that response. Have the faith and the courage to do what your heart tells you to do. The language of the heart is very clear once you learn its language. Once you learn to read its signs and its frequencies. And it will always guide you perfectly. Beloveds, this does not mean that the results of this activity will always be what you desire them to be. I am not saying that. I am saying that the results will be perfect for the entire situation and everyone involved in it. That is why it requires faith and courage to follow the suggestions of the heart. Because it might make you do things that your mind tells you will get you into trouble, or will provoke emotional reactions in people that you don't want to deal with. However, the heart will guide you to do what is necessary for everyone involved in any given situation. I know this makes some of you uncomfortable. You want to hang back and not be a catalyst in situations. A catalyst is something that provokes a reaction when it is combined with other elements. So in any given situation where there are two or more people involved, often things will go according to automatic pilot, shall we say. And whereas when you come in and interject an idea or energy of truth, all hell seems to break loose, which is the expression that you use on earth. Everything seems to fly apart, and there seems to be no one in control of the situation at all. And you sit there wondering, what happened? What could you possibly have said to have caused such a turmoil around you? This is sometimes what your loved ones and colleagues need in order to grow. When they only hear what they believe to be true, they get into a rut and they stop growing and evolving because there is nothing there to push them out of their comfort zone. But when you are awake and aware and listening to what your heart tells you to say and do, you can be a catalyst to their growth. And it has nothing to do with your mind or what you think they need or what you think they should do. It is spirit. It is your divine self that knows all and everything that is telling you what to do, because it knows what is best for everyone involved in any situation. This is what it means to make yourself of service to God. You are not necessarily of service to God when you do what in your mind you think pleases God, or what you think is the right thing to do. For instance, giving money to a beggar on the street. Sometimes it's the right thing to do. Other times it is not. And the only way you can know this is by asking your I Am Presence, who will whisper into your heart whether or not you should give money to that particular person. Sometimes it might even tell you to give money to that particular person one day and no the next. Your I Am Presence always knows the perfect action to take. So, first of all, beloveds, take the time before you do anything to ask your I Am Presence to give the answer to you in your heart. And then secondly, have the faith and the courage to do what your I Am Presence tells you to do, regardless of the outcome. That is not your problem. Even if others think it is, and even if they hold you responsible for it, know that in the eyes of God, your responsibility is to follow God's voice within you. And when you do that, you will incur no karma, regardless of what other humans think or say or do about it. This is the truth of life on a spiritual path. It is the path that I am guiding you along, so that you may come home as quickly as possible, and so that your path may be as easy and as joyous as possible. That is my message to you for today, beloveds. Thank you for listening. I fill you with all the love and light that you are able to accept. I am Metatron.